And we're live. It's the Right Rican. It's episode 6, and it's with Peter Feliciano, who hosts the podcast Conservatish. How you doing today, Peter?
I'm very good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. How you've grown a lot since we last spoke. I seen your channel's gone up in
Yeah.
viewers.
Well, it's gone up in subscribers. I've
Yes.
gone up in subscribers and in followers and fans and stuff, but I don't know how much of the views are necessarily going up. I'm so freaking I can cuss on this show, right?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. I'm so fucking shadow banned. It's insane. It's insane. I was just thinking about it today. Like, I try not to get bitter, but like, if I wasn't shadow banned, I would be the most famous motherfucker in the world. I'm telling you.
Have you
I'd be the
tried,
Puerto Rican Nate Dogg. All right.
Have you tried Rumble?
I have started a Rumble account. I haven't really posted very much to it because it doesn't I don't know if I would. Maybe I've posted like one or two things, but I haven't gotten any like traction on it yet.
Okay.
And you know how it is. Like, when we're doing this thing, like I have to kind of measure out my time and kind of decide, okay, what's worth it and what's, I mean, I'm in school right now. I just moved to a new spot. I'm looking for jobs. I'm, organizing this and that. I've got a surgery coming up in a couple of weeks. I've got a visit to New York. I've got this, I've got that. There's a lot on the plate at the moment,
Yeah, trust me, I know. That's I used to do videos every day, and it got too much.
Yeah.
I took a summer hiatus because I needed to lose weight. I gained so much weight during the pandemic.
You do look different. I was going to say, you do look good, man.
I've 55 pounds since May. So actually, I think I had you on in May. So yeah, so about since the last time we spoke, about 55 pounds.
Awesome, dude. Awesome.
Yeah, I bust my ass there. I was.
Yeah.
You have, when you're, especially right now, because I hit that plateau, like when I don't know if you've ever tried to lose weight before, and there's a point where you're losing weight like crazy. Then all of a sudden it's like 1 pound in like 2 weeks.
Right.
It's like, what the hell?
Right.
So
no, that's where I'm at. I've lost 35 pounds or 30-ish, 32, 30, 33 since August or September. No, yeah, August of last year. And for the last 4 months or 5 months or so, I've just kind of hit a plateau, and it's like, I've come to the point. It's like, okay, well, I do kind of like feeling my size. I mean, I wish, I do, it would be nice to lose some weight, whatever, but I don't mind being the size that I'm at. It's kind of a weird thing, you know what I mean? Especially because in my mind, so much of my life I've spent going like, oh, I'm too this or I'm too that. And so coming to the edge of like, you know what? I think I'm all right where I'm at. It's it's a perspective shift. It's a perspective shift.
No, definitely. There was I saw someone post a video. They said, comparison is the thief of joy. And I saw that video and I was like, you know what? That's so true. Because I go to the gym and I see other people and I go, yeah, who cares? You know what?
Right.
I don't go to impress nobody. I go for me. That's my me time. That's the time I get away from the kids. It's the time I get to, it sounds crazy, but I enjoy it. Like, some people don't enjoy lifting. Like, I hate cardio, but I love to lift.
Yeah, me too.
But so yeah, no, so that's what's been going on. So I took that hiatus, and then I decided, let me stop making the every day, because I just seemed like sometimes it just felt like I was a creation factory. I'm like, okay, I'm just making a video to make a video, right. And I'm like, I enjoy this more. I enjoy having conversation with other creators, because I don't know about you, but sometimes it's just weird looking at a camera, talking, and there's no one to interact with. You're just there like, okay, what do I do now?
Right.
So,
I mean, I've definitely I haven't done a solo episode in probably a year. I think most of I did one, I think right before I had my surgery in January. So I would say like it's been a while, but I remember, doing solo episodes and feeling like, all right, there's going to be some lulls. It's going to be a little wonky. I don't know. But I also kind of like it every once in a while to do a show on my own, For those who don't know, I host a weekly show called Conservatish, where I speak with musicians and political activists and people from all walks of life. And mostly the main goal of the show is to humanize the dehumanized. And for the last couple of years, especially, it's been focusing on conservatives who don't fit inside the identity politics box. And that's been a blast, so, it's very filthy. It's probably the only, show. Well, maybe not the only show, but I like it because it's the type of show I can talk about, Trump and eating ass in the same episode.
What did you have Dwayne Wade on or something?
I know, right? Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, and this is the thing too, is I feel like when I first started the show, it was in San Francisco, it was in the Bay Area. Eating ass is kind of Bay Area-ish, although they're kind of stuffy, but definitely not something in the Trump vein. Too often, I think the people who, red pilled me when I decided to be red pilled, were a lot of, kind of stuffier ones. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Milo Yiannopoulos was over the top, blah, blah, blah. But, Steven Crowder hasn't said fuck in his whole life. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Ben Shapiro, kind of, yeah. He has his role, right? And I have mine. You know what I mean? I'm the filth bucket of the group,
Yeah, no, I mean, like Ben Shapiro's more news orientated, same thing like Dan Bongino, Steven Crowder. Mm-hmm. He's clean comedy, which, some people like that family friendly stuff. Some people, like that raunchy stuff. And I saw my first comedy special with my parents, and it was like Eddie Murphy Raw or Delirious, one of those two.
Right.
And that is for anyone who, for the younger crowd who hasn't seen that, you may want to watch it, but you may not, because be prepared to be offended, because he
comes out of the gate swinging.
Yeah, nobody gave a shit back then.
Right.
It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings. Like, no, fuck your feelings.
Right.
That was really the time of fuck your feelings.
Right. Oh, I also want to, I wore this shirt because I know I'm on the Right Rican.
Come caca. I was like, wait, what? Oh, okay. No, it's Spanish.
Yeah. I got this from Diana Death. You ever heard of Diana Death?
No.
Mexicana from San Diego, punk legend. She's a badass. And she's very, a lot of the, see, I don't even want to call it conservative because it's such a different, a lot of the people I've surrounded myself with, and maybe this is indicative of the entire political spectrum at the moment. You can't really, I mean, with all the filth I talk on my show, with all the, people, gays and trans and whatever. And I don't know if I fit in the vein of conservative. I mean, that's the whole point of the show being called Conservatish. So anyway, she's a rebel. And so
like what, what's his name? Paul Joseph Watson. He says that basically conservatism is the new punk culture, the new punk rock, because, punk back in the day was the counterculture.
Right.
And, all these people that used to be part of the counterculture in the 80s and 70s and stuff, now they're mainstream. Now they're, they used to fight the man, and now they are the man.
Right. Yeah. Neil Young, when he was talking about, trying to get Joe Rogan kicked off of Spotify, and I saw that some meme somebody made the other day. It was like, you better censor Joe Rogan. Otherwise I won't let you listen to Keep On Rockin' in the Free World. You know what I mean? Because that's one of fucking Neil Young's dumb songs. Listen, I actually kind of think it's good. There's this idea of, in this one spiritual group that I'm a part of, is like spirit of rotation, the spirit of rotation, meaning I'm not saying that that every intellectual hero or musician that I love or whatever loses their edge or becomes irrelevant, but a lot of them do. You know what I mean? And Neil Young was definitely one of those people. I was never a huge Neil Young fan. You know what I mean? But maybe a better example would be like Joni Mitchell. I'm a huge Joni Mitchell fan, but she also was one of those people who wanted to kick off Apparently, I think she was too old. She's too old and dottery to make fucking financial business decisions anymore. She's barely alive. You watch a video of the 50th anniversary of Blue. She's like, "Hello, everybody. Go today is 50 years of Blue." Like, she's not going, "Oh, censor Joe Rogan." Some handler, some white handler made that decision for her. Anyway, one tangent at a time. I apologize.
No,
but
that's why I enjoy having you on. It's never a dull moment.
right. But it's like, Joni Mitchell, like, thank you for your work, Joni. You did a wonderful job doing all this wonderful work and all this activism and blah, blah, blah. We got the torch from now on. We're good. Thanks, baby. Shh. We got it from here. We don't need you anymore. And that's really the thing. I mean, honestly, I kind of feel that same way about Trump. I know this sometimes upsets some conservatives, and it's not like I won't vote for the motherfucker in 2024 if he's the option.
Mm-hmm.
But, if he's the option versus whatever the fuck the left has been shelling out. But, ideally for me, I'd rather have DeSantis. I'd rather have DeSantis because I feel like thank you, Trump. Thank you. We got the baton from here on out. You did your job. And then 2020 fucked you up and you became a little puppet. You know what I mean? So, or even if he had to sell his ass a little bit or whatever, like, listen, that's great. Thanks. But you know who isn't selling his ass? You know who didn't go like, made a great vaccine. It's the greatest vaccine that ever was, blah, 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 is motherfucking DeSantis. So he represents my values more clearly.
No, I totally agree with you. I like DeSantis. When people say, who could win in 2024, I say him. I go, Trump showed the formula for Republicans on if you want to win, stop being pussies.
Yeah.
Stop being pussies, fight back. And Ron DeSantis is awesome at it without Trump's vulgarness, so to speak. Without his crass.
Right.
He could be a smart ass, but it comes across as witty as opposed to just being sometimes Trump comes off as a buffoon because he's not well spoken.
Right.
Ron DeSantis is a JAG officer. He was an attorney in the military.
Right.
So he's well spoken. He's not afraid to fight, and that's the formula there because you had too much. You had like the Mitt Romneys of the world. Look where they are now, kissing the ass of the Democrats for what?
And the perfect example is, maybe not even a perfect example because I don't think he was ever on the side of small government at all, which is what Republican and conservatism should be, is leave me the fuck alone. That's what real conservatism is now. I don't know what it was 20 years ago when the Christians had it more in its depth or whatever the hell. But what conservatism is now is don't tell me what to do with my body. Don't tell me what to do with my mouth. Don't tell me what to do with my kids. Don't tell me what to do with my wallet. Leave me the fuck alone. Let me make money, make it safe, and give me the ability to support myself without gouging me in the face. What's his face? From Wyoming, his daughter.
Oh, Dick Cheney and Liz.
Oh, he came out going, Trump is one of the most dangerous people for our democracy. It's like, you of all people, you think you're going to make the Republican base go, oh, I guess he's reasonable now. There's still blood on your hands. And I don't mean your friend that you shot in the woods, you fucking filthy bastard. Disgusting. Yeah. And he got shown the fuck up. I'm telling you right now, because I have to say it. I've been saying it a lot about Stacey Abrams. Nobody likes Stacey Abrams. Okay. A couple of black people. All right. Because Atlanta's got a lot of black people. Nobody really, really, really digs on that bitch. She's a smelly, fucking full of shit ass bitch. Okay. That's number one. Beto O'Rourke. I'm telling you, goddamn now, no person of color likes Beto O'Rourke. I'm sure might be a few Texan people of color in Austin that listen to goddamn, Avid Brothers or some fucking other hipster dog shit. And those motherfuckers, like, because they're only surrounded by white motherfuckers, are smoking the fucking liberal douchebag doobie and those doobie. And they're I haven't had druggies in a long time, so don't get mad. But I'm saying, like, the reality is real ass motherfuckers don't like smelly, cringe motherfuckers. And if there's anybody who personifies cringe, it's Beto O'Rourke.
Oh yeah, just the fact that his name Beto, when he's a white Irish guy going by, a Spanish nickname for political cred.
For political cred, and even if he's a halvesy, which I haven't even done any research, even if he's a halvesy, so am I. So's fucking Obama, okay? But he could say nigger, okay? So why isn't Beto coming? Anyway, but like one point at a time, Peter. What I'm saying is, nobody in reality likes Beto O'Rourke except for white liberals in Austin. Seeing and I'm not wrong, but you can feel free to try and change my mind.
Well, there's also, there's also white liberals in like Deep Ellum and in Dallas, and Deep Ellum is like kind of like the Austin air, like almost like the Austin of Dallas.
Oh, okay. But essentially what I mean to say that, right? There's no way outside of Portland, Seattle, Chicago, LA, San Francisco, and New York, and Washington, D.C., there's no fucking way that Democrats will win this November. No fucking way. It's physically, mathematically, scientifically impossible. So if it happens,
people go vote. As long as people go vote.
But, yeah, but I'm just saying right now, if it happens, because hey, the last 2 years have shown us they are real good at don't get expectations. Expectations cause resentment, right? But like, if it happens outside of those 7 cities, it's cheating. I hope that doesn't get your fucking shit. I mean, I'm so shadow banned, it doesn't even fucking matter at this point. Yeah, I'll go down in a blaze of fucking glory. You can shadow ban me all you want, you white motherfuckers. I'm not going nowhere.
Let me do this caveat. This is the caveat I'll say. Bill Barr found evidence, but they said there wasn't enough evidence of that it affected the election. And I'll do that as my protection against YouTube.
But I'm just saying, as we go forward,
because I've already used it. I've used the defense already because one of my other guests said something like that, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I didn't say it.
Right.
I didn't say it. And I said, I pointed to the, I said what Bill Barr said. There was evidence of fraud, just not enough to show that it affected the election.
And you said that to YouTube?
I said that to YouTube. They strike my channel, and I used that, and they said, no, okay, fine. I was surprised as you were. I was like, holy shit.
I've had one or two, change back. But there was one a few months ago. I had an episode deleted because I was saying that the vaccine didn't work. And obviously what I was saying was as far as transmission. I didn't even address the other stuff as far as transmission. And
it's come out this week that, just because.
But not only that, but Fauci on Fox News had said 3 weeks prior to me having that episode removed, the exact same thing that I said, that it doesn't protect especially good against transmission nor infection. That's what he said. So I said the same thing that Fauci did on Fox. And my episode was about 9 months old, right? Why would YouTube remove that, but Fauci's interview on Fox is not removed, right?
It's election season. That happened to me. What was it? 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? I got a post removed from Facebook from 10 years ago.
Right.
10 years ago. I was like, what? This was 10 years old and you're removing it now?
Right.
It's ridiculous.
But I'm gonna this light is so bright in my face. Is that okay? Because
that's fine.
I'm going blind up in this motherfucker.
Yeah, no worries. I point my lights away from me. That's why you see like my kind of like the light here on my side.
Right. I had this old light and it's kind of gone. Like it was It just wasn't working very well. It was so bright. I had that old light in New York. I just moved to Austin, Texas a couple
Yeah.
months ago. So I bought a new everything. And I bought a new light and it was just like way too bright. So I got this one just to fill in. It's more of a bedroom lamp than a ring light. But anyway,
Oh, yeah.
so I'm just prepping everybody if they're going to do that, if any Democrat wins. Impossible. And that's not just like, oh, I'm in my social media bubble, so I don't have my finger on the pulse of the network. Go in the streets, boys and girls. Go in the streets. Go out and go talk to human beings. Exactly. Go talk to human beings. Nobody likes Beto O'Rourke. Nobody. So if he wins, just know it was some shifty white liberal bullshit.
It's like with Biden. I don't know someone who actually loves Biden. I know people who hate Trump, but I don't know people who love Biden.
They're trying. They're trying. Only a couple of blue check people are like, oh, Biden's, but everybody else, no.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I haven't. I have a guy out here who's running by me, Fetterman, who now kind of talks like Biden now. Yeah, I feel bad for the guy because it's like he won his primary, and now really he should sit down. He really should sit down. Let some other Democrat run in your place. You can't speak. He had to. That it just came out today that they have to do when they asked him questions, he had to read it because his mind is not right now. So even though he hears it, he can't process it. But if he reads the question, he could understand it. Yeah, that was the face I put when I heard that. It's like basically the reporter was asking him questions. It would go into his computer and write what the question was, so he could process what the question is.
See, okay.
Because he had a stroke
I just
like
feel
6 months ago.
Yeah, I just feel like, I mean, already I think he's just a smelly white Democrat. It just is what it is,
Yeah.
But if that's the case, like, shouldn't we have our best out there? You know what I mean? And I'm talking, by the way, that's another benefit of DeSantis over Trump. Trump's an old man. Listen, as much as I appreciate that he can still, he caught that Sharpie and hat a couple weeks ago. Did you see that video? Someone from the crowd threw him a hat to sign, and also had a Sharpie and threw it, and Biden and Trump caught it. Like, I know he's agile, but that nigga's old. Like, we need some young ass blood.
I agree.
I
agree.
Like I would.
My only thing would be, I would like if Trump runs, it has to be DeSantis as the VP. Because
that would be unbeatable, dude. That would
because
be
then you would have you would set it up that if they turn things around, then DeSantis is running in 2028. And then you have 2 years, and you could have 2 terms of DeSantis.
Right.
Let Trump I don't know. Trump's done some crazy shit since he lost.
Right.
And I think that's where he's losing some of his followers.
I'll tell you 2 things that I disagree with Trump on. Number one, his behavior in 2020 around the vaccine. You know what I mean? Like, listen, if he was actually, I understand the idea that a lot of people on my side, because I'm connected with a lot of, like, I mean, if you want to, there's a lot of people on, who I'm friends with who are like, hippie / wow, some lightning outside. That was amazing. Anyway.
Oh yeah, you get that in Texas.
Dude, Texas don't give a fuck. Yeah, it'll be hot for 3 years, and then you'll have just rain, like,
wait till you
literally
get that. Have you gone through a hailstorm yet?
No. I've had but I do have a carport, so that's good.
Yeah, good. Prepare for that in May.
In May. Okay.
In May.
Okay.
Because it's basically when it starts getting warmer. And like, you get that little cold and I put that in quotation marks.
Right.
And then like in May, it starts getting back up to like the 70s and the 80s. You know, when you get that, then you'll get, if you get like a cold spell, like a cold wind from the north come in with the warm air from the south, you get bad hailstorms.
Okay.
So be prepared.
All right. I think my insurance covers that.
It should. Sure. The good thing about there in Texas, a lot of the places, since they get so much hail damage, you don't have to find a place. Most places will eat the deductible.
Right. And there'll be some that are like, because they really want your business to get a new windshield. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Well, let's just say you just got the dents in the car. Your insurance is going to pay for it. You know, if your deductible is like $500, they'll eat the deductible because they don't give a shit. They don't. Why do they need that $500 when they're making $10,000 off your car?
Right. And they'd rather, and since it's insurance that's paying it, they'd rather make sure they get it than let it go to somebody else. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, because I mean it happens so much. So
right. What was I talking about before hail, or before I saw the lightning? Let's see if we can follow the arroz con gandules back.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have trouble with that with the Puerto Rican food out there.
There's no Puerto Ricans. I think I'm the only Puerto Rican. I've heard on the wind whispers that there's a couple Boricuas here and there, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only Puerto Rican in Austin, Texas.
I could shoot you some restaurants in the Dallas area, but that's 3 hours.
That's Dallas, bro. That's 3 hours. I mean, you know what? Honestly, it might get that bad. Get that bad. I haven't had,
Well, then again, if you still come up to New York once in a while, you could get home cooking in New York.
Yeah, my aunt is a badass, full-blooded Boricua from Brooklyn. Who cooks incredible shit. So yeah, I'll definitely. And my dad in the Bay in California also. So I have it. All my Puerto Rican food is like on separate coasts, but I can go get it.
So since we went off, well, we forgot where we're at.
Right.
So when you said you got red pill, how long did it take you to finally accept the red pill?
Well, let me break it down a teensy bit. Number one, now I personally believe that the red pill, the real red pill, is not, and people have all kinds of different colored pills, blah, blah, blah. But in my opinion, I believe the red pill is not turning somebody conservative or Republican. I think it's think for yourself. That's the ultimate one. Because you can't do your own research and still be a Democrat now. Like, that's an impossibility. Unless you handpick a few specific sources that are only important for you, which I know I'm just as susceptible to that. Yeah, but if you do no research, of course, you're a Democrat, you're a liberal modern. You can't see the fact that, as an example, Pfizer said, "Oh, you know what? We didn't actually test it for transmissibility." And still be like, okay, well, that wasn't a good idea, but I'm still going to vote Biden. Come on, bro.
No, I agree. I was going to say, that's why I like your moniker. I like the Conservatish, because I never felt comfortable calling myself a conservative, because I don't feel like I'm a conservative, because there's some issues, like, let's say, like gay marriage, abortion, where like abortion, I'm pro-choice, but I'm not pro-choice like the Democrats are now. I'm not pro-choice up to the point of birth. I go, 12, 15 weeks. If you haven't decided by 12 to 15 weeks, then I'm sorry, have the damn baby.
Right. Yeah, I feel like first, even though I'm, as an example, the same thing, I feel like I'm not as lenient. I feel like maybe for me, like heartbeat is comfortable to me. At the same time, it still is killing a baby. Like I feel like the old Patrice O'Neill bit where he's talking about, like, ladies, I don't care if you want to kill your baby, but call it killing a baby. You know what I mean? Like it's not your body. You're the apartment building. Okay. You're the apartment building. But anyway, my red pill experience.
I was gonna say, you want to evict the tenant, but you can't kill the tenant.
I even was talking with somebody a little while ago, and I brought up the salient point. I was like, listen, most of the Democrats I know, most of the liberals, most of the pro-choice people I know, when you get them off of social media, when you get them outside of where other white ladies aren't watching them, okay, and they're just one-on-one, and you just talk to them about why you're pro-life, or not as pro-choice as whatever, they'll level with you. Most pro-choice people, white ladies, most pro-choice people are actually reasonable. They do believe it is an actual like they do believe that it's like, oh my God, like it's I was talking with somebody and it was kind of a red pill conversation. And then she was like, she was kind of starting to cry. She's like, I know, it's a horrible decision to make. It's a huge life altering, sad, scary decision to make. And I'm like, why? Because it's a fucking baby, right? Yeah. So I'm not saying, and she still is like, yeah, but I want women to have that choice. I'm like, okay, whatever. But she's like, well, because there's extenuating circumstances. Although there really isn't very many. Rape and incest, I think, are about 0.5%. But anyway,
not even.
No, not even.
Not
I thought
even.
It was 0.5.
No,
nice.
It's like 0.05. Like 0.05. It's not even 0.5. It's like it's very, very, very small.
Right.
But even if you give them that, but even if you tell them, we'll do the exception for rape and incest,
that's not.
And they
enough.
still, it's not good enough. It's not good enough.
They're so afraid that we want to unnecessarily. They're afraid that we're going to Handmaid's Tale. Okay. We don't give a fuck. That's not who the fuck we are. Like, you have to really fundamentally close yourself off from people who disagree with you politically to think that the other side is that malevolent. Okay. Or stupid. So here's what I'm motherfucking saying. My experience has been, I know dyed in the wool, dirt bag ass Biden voting motherfucking ass motherfuckers who have saved my life. Okay. Who are dear friends, who are family, who are smart people, who are kind people, who are generous people, who are wonderful motherfuckers, even though they vote Democrat. Well, guess what, stupids? I'm a fucking, just because I disagree with you politically doesn't mean I'm malevolent or stupid, right? But these cocksuckers let's be real, what were the cities? Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, the whitest places in the world, by the way. But anyway, be real. Anyway, those places are so cut off in their own little bubble that they don't have access to the real life that people live in Austin, Texas, Georgia, Virginia, all these other spots. They're so in their own little bubble. And what happens when you don't know? What happens when you don't know, when you're ignorant? And I don't mean ignorant in this, I mean ignorant in that you don't know, like a second grader is ignorant to calculus. Ignorance is not a malevolent thing. It's not an evil thing. But what happens is when you're ignorant about the personalities and the experiences of these other motherfuckers, you put them in an intellectual box so that you can understand them. Why would anyone be pro-life? Well, if you fucking asked us, you'd know. Mm-hmm. But they don't ask. And happy for them. Woohoo! CNN swings in, MSNBC swings in, Vox swings in, Teen Vogue for some fucking reason swings in and says, here's why. They're racist, they're sexist, they're homophobic, they're transphobic, they hate people, they're flyover, they're cousin fuckers, they're blah, blah, blah. And they put them in a box for you. And the red pill experience is, I'm tired of you telling me what the fucking box is, and I'm going to find out for myself. And once you find out for yourself, it's over. Yeah, when I was living in San Francisco, when I visited Oklahoma, and I saw black kids playing with, pink-haired white kids. Like, but everyone who's not in my city is racist. Nah, bruh. I was just ignorant to the reality of what other people lived. It's the same thing, by the way, on the other side. It's the same thing on the other side. When I smell somebody, when I know a conservative, and I'm not saying that liberals aren't snowflakes or that they don't hate America, but like at its base, when we don't know, when somebody from Wyoming, Kansas, blah, 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 when they don't know any New Yorkers, when they don't know any liberals, when they don't know, they put them in a box. They're all snowflakes. They're all patriots. They're all pedo apologists. They're all this. They're all that. I'm like, no, bro. They think they have good intentions. Both of us do. For the majority, both sides and all the sides in between think they have good intentions. It's just that we're all each in our own little bubble with our each individual life experiences, with our each individual races and our each individual intellects and our each individual interests and our each individual passions and our each individual, right? And so we've come to the um intellectual answers or standpoints, right? We've come to the decisions we've come to politically, but just because it's different doesn't mean that it's bad, right? Meaning, I do believe conservatives are correct, and I do believe conservatives are a lot more reasonable than modern day, 1,000 times more reasonable than modern day liberals, right? But you know, I like I said, I've known too many liberals in my life. I grew up in San Francisco and in New York, man. I'm sorry, I know too many liberals for me to say that they're all, you know, that they all want to cut off kids' dicks. You know what I mean? I say it flippantly, whatever, but like I believe and I know that they think good intentions. They think they're coming from a good place by fucking cutting off kids' dicks, and that's what's even most hard. That's
Well,
what
they say the road to hell was paved with good intentions, and it's
absolutely
for that reason. You have people who, you know, they you think that, oh, you know what, I'm trying to prevent these kids from committing suicide
right,
because, you know, trans kids,
right,
they have a high rate of suicide, but you don't see the flip side and go, but wait a minute, after they get surgery, they still want to commit suicide
right.
because at the end of the day, it was a mental disorder. It's still a mental disorder,
It's
and
dysphoria,
there's
right?
gender dysphoria, and no matter what politics you put behind it, it still doesn't change the fact that by saying that it's not a mental disorder doesn't take away from the fact that these people, there's something wrong and we
Right,
should help them, but helping them doesn't mean giving into, let's say, a delusion. So for
right.
some of them it works, for some of them it works.
Absolutely. I know somebody who's a former colleague of mine. We used to do
Mhm.
shows all the time in San Francisco,
But
and
it
she's a
takes,
wonderful person. And
mhm,
she used to be a he. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And I don't say she because you know. And well, but like yeah, exactly like what you're saying. It's like I know that she had a good outcome from that
yeah,
surgery, and God bless her. But she was in her fucking 40s when that happened. You know what I
exactly.
mean? And you know, as the beautiful Mike Harlow, my good friend, he tweeted one time, he's like, I got a Green Day tattoo with a fake ID when I was 17 years old. Don't tell me that 17-year-olds know what's best for them, for their body, for permanent body decisions. You know what I mean? So,
No,
but like
exactly.
us coming to that different conclusion, I'm not writing off that we shouldn't try to stop liberals. I'm not writing off. I'm not saying that we shouldn't fight them with everything we have or vote, you know, whatever. But what I am saying is you got to know your enemy. One of the reasons why Vietnam did not fucking work out, okay, because I'm reading a book on it now. It was a fucking, if anybody wants a great fucking book, I'm not even done with it, and it's probably my favorite book. It's called About Face. David H. Hackworth, David H. Hackworth. Um, and Jocko Willink talks about it all the time. It's a book on leadership. It's a book on, you
Mhm.
know, it's literally, and I listen to books, and this motherfucker is 30 hours long. It's a fucking huge autobiography about this one soldier from he joined the war at 15 years old, 14 years old. He lied to get in it right at the end of World War II. He was in the army in Korea. He was in the army in Vietnam. He worked at the Pentagon. Like, this is a real ass motherfucker. And one of the things he talks about Vietnam and why it didn't work is that we weren't interested. A lot of the people in the Pentagon, a lot of the people in the higher ups, a lot of the people in the army were in it to punch their ticket. What that means is they were in it to level up, get another star, get another award, get another whatever. They weren't really, and they were going at the war, a jungle fucking war with guerrilla fighters, as if it was World War II. Right, which was more about sides and coming up. It wasn't the Germans running through the woods, right? And so, but that disconnect happened because there was an interest from the higher ups on figuring out, wait a second, is this really, let me know my enemy, right? You
Mhm.
have to understand your enemy if you're going to reach them, because these motherfucking liberals, they are not going to even start to come to the table if we're just, you're a fucking pedo, you're a fucking this, you're a fucking this, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Like,
Mhm.
bro, let's know our enemy so that we can effectively and efficiently communicate with them, because there are, even though it doesn't feel like it, there are reasonable liberals in the world. And if we are going to ever get them to our side, because there's so many right now who I've talked to even a year ago. I remember a good friend of mine, I made a meme about Biden, and I know this dude to be a Brooklyn ass motherfucking, Biden voter. He went to Black Lives Matter rallies in 2020. I know who he is. I know, right? But he sent me a message, man, everybody fucking hates Biden. And I'm like, interesting. So there's a lot of people on that sinking ship who don't want to be on the sinking ship, but they're not going to get into the lifeboat of, bro, stop voting Democrat, if we're still hitting them with the oar of,
No,
you know what I mean? Of, you're a piece of shit, you're a C, blah, blah. We have to let
we can't be like they are to us.
ta-da.
We
Ta-da.
cannot be, and because this is the whole thing. Like you were talking about the word that I was thinking of when you're saying, like, when the right was controlled by the Christian coalition and stuff like that. The Puritans. Now the Puritans aren't the conservative Christians.
Right.
The Puritans now are the woke.
Yes.
The woke mob. There's no, what other ways there to really say it. The woke mob is the Puritans of today. Because if you think about it, if you don't conform to, what their pronouns, if you don't conform to, believing everybody's racist, if you don't conform to every one of their ideologies, gender ideology, then you're a bad person. Now, not that you just disagree with me, you're a bad person. You're a piece of shit. And I don't want to listen to you. That's how, I remember I had a conversation with a Puerto Rican lady. And I was like, oh, I lived in Texas. And she goes, oh, that's nice. So we start talking. She goes, and then when we start talking, she goes, oh, what about that piece of shit, Ted Cruz? And I go, I voted for him. I like Ted Cruz. I go, matter of fact, he was my second choice for president in 2016.
Nice.
Rand was my first and Ted was my second.
Nice.
And she goes, oh, so you wanted those? And I'm like, excuse me? Nice. And she's just like, I said, I tried to tell her nicely. I said, look, listen, I think you have a problem. You only watch one side of the news, I told her. And she goes, and this is where I was like, okay, I'll leave it alone. She goes, I only watch the truth. I only watch MSNBC and CNN. And I was like, you got it, lady. We're done. Because I'm like, once you hear that she's that close-minded, that she's afraid, and I will use the word afraid, to have her preconceptions challenged, because she was like, oh, I like you. I don't want to keep talking about this stuff. And I'm like, that's the problem.
Yep.
That's the problem.
And if you're a liberal listening to this, why didn't Carlito, why didn't he fucking do the same thing? Like, from the jump, not in retaliation, from the jump. Like, here's another way to put it. I have never, in my entire life, I've never had anyone assume that I'm a conservative. Okay. But you go into any fucking Starbucks, or you go into any in New York and San Francisco, I've had a lot of people assume that I agree with them. Right. I remember multiple times I'm driving Uber in San Francisco in 2017, 2018, and having motherfuckers really rudely bring up, anyway, isn't it crazy what Trump did, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, bro, we're in public. Like, it's fucking rude to just bring up politics. But see, self-righteousness is the fulcrum there, right? Even though you disagree with her, you didn't come out swinging about who'd you vote for? Why'd you vote for them? Me. The fulcrum is you're self-righteous and you're broken. And fear does that, just like you're saying. Fear does that. Our real enemy is not these fucking liberals. Our real enemy is fear. Our real enemy is the motherfucking Satan, and call it what you will. I don't give a fuck. Negative energies if you're a hippie. Our real enemy is underneath. Don't play the top surface game with these cocksuckers. Know your enemy and go deeper so that you can effectively change those people, so that you can effectively move and connect with motherfuckers. I mean, I know I do it swinging. I mean, it's a meme is a meme.
Yeah.
A clip is a clip. But like, there's got to be a way in the like we're having a long form conversation right now, right? To put that into an understanding. And this is some next level, high level ass, spiritual ass shit conversation that we're having because we have the time to do it and because we mentally are practiced at it. But, you know, there's got to be a way that we can effectively communicate that stuff in little, you know, a meme is a great way to do it. Sure. Especially when you're using cognitive dissonance to swing in there, right? And there's ham-handed ways that are necessary. I'm not saying you never bring out the hammer, but I'm saying underneath the hammer, let's practice playing the real game. The real game is not, you know, my pedo versus your pedo. You know what I mean? Like the real game is not you're this and you're that, me, because that keeps us scared. And we get scared and they get scared and we go round and around and around in fear. I'm saying, how do we get deeper than that and connect to these motherfuckers so that the ones who are reasonable, and many of them will not be, but there are a shit ton of reasonable ass liberals who just want to get off of the Democrat boat, but don't have a way to get into ours because there's motherfuckers with oars going, you're not. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like I remember, I was watching a video where Mark Dice was complaining that people were accepting that Dave Rubin had a surrogate parent. And
me and you were talking about it on last one.
Yeah, and I was just there like, what the? I'm like, he just wanted to be a father. What the fuck?
Right.
That's you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, gay, straight, whatever. Most sane people. I'm not gonna. Let me not maybe go that far either. People want to be, men want to be fathers. Women want to be mothers. Right. It's just, I mean, there are some people who don't, but sometimes there are some miserable people though.
Right. But you know what? It's not okay for it's not okay for what's his fucking name? You just said it. Dave Rubin. It's not okay for Dave Rubin to want kids, you know, or to adopt. No gay couples should. Only straight couples with all the fucking thousands of kids who needs home, right? In this fucking country. Millions maybe. No. Only straight couples. Like, stop being myopic, kids. This is what I'm saying. And you know, and so, you know, I mean, it's the same thing. One of the things that this book, same book, was talking about is that one of the other reasons that we lost is because, as Lao Tzu says, hang on, let me get the exact quote, or Sun Tzu, sorry. Yeah, Asians is Asians. No, I'm just kidding. As Sun Tzu says, to subdue the enemy without fighting is the acme of skill. And the guerrilla tactic of wearing your enemy out, that's an old Maoist strategy. Okay. Like where it was like, come in, guerrilla warfare, you know, and then disappear, and then and wear out motherfuckers. And like Sun Tzu said, to subdue your enemy without fighting is the acme of skill. It's easy to get like completely angry, over emotional, and fucking just lose our shit and just put these cocksuckers in intellectual boxes and say, fuck these cocksuckers, fuck these whatever, pedo apologists, fuck all this, blah, blah, blah. Fuck all these groomers, right? I'm not saying that there aren't groomers. I'm just saying, like, put them in a label because we allow them to dictate the game. They're dictating the war right now. Because a lot of conservatives, I say, wasting our time reacting, emotional. Look at what this bad person did. Look at what this TikTok star said. Look at what this, look at. We know that people are fucking nuts. We know that stupid assholes are doing stupid asshole shit. But if we react, then we're reacting to everything that comes our fucking way instead of focusing instead of being mature, then we're allowing them to dictate the war. We're allowing them to dictate the battle. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing because we haven't even gone into battle, okay, yet. Okay. It may happen, but I'm just saying we haven't even done. And so we have to conserve our energy and be smart about our tactics, be smart about our strategies,
and you got to choose
and know our enemy.
You got to choose the battles. Like you said,
yes,
it's different, yeah, you're going to react to some stuff. Don't react to every stupid thing. Like the Will Smith and Chris Rock smack. Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit?
Why are you
even wasting energy on that? What you said?
I said it was faked anyway.
It was faked anyway. I agree. I agree with you. I thought it was bullshit.
Yeah.
But stop with those distractions.
Yeah.
Focus on like this whole thing, like that whole gays against groomers and stuff. That's a fight that it's a choose your battle, and that's one of the battles that we have to win because we're gonna have a generation of screwed up kids,
right? If
we don't win that battle, right. And that's a battle you have to, like I said, that's one where it's like, okay, that's why like Matt Walsh with the Daily Wire, he's taking the fight to them. Right. He's not waiting to hear the stuff that's going on. He's going to these hospitals and pissing them off, putting their shit out there. And it's like, well, you guys are putting it out on the internet. All the stuff that you're doing is just nobody's paying attention.
Right.
And he's putting it out there. Oh, you guys want to, mutilate children's genitalia? Okay. Well, if you're so proud of it and it's on we're going to publicize it.
Right. But like a TikTok, an amateur TikTok, everybody on TikTok's amateur, but some TikTok star saying some stupid shit into their fucking phone is not worthy of my time. Sometimes it is because it's like a teacher, right? It's a teacher with blue hair talking about how she talked about fucking, some filthy shit with her fucking, kindergartners. But like, if it's somebody who has a stupid opinion or a weird opinion or a whatever, like that's not worth my time. Do you know how fucking valuable time is? It's the most valuable thing. Most valuable thing. And I genuinely believe if we're going to win this fucking battle, if we're going to win this war, we need to not just conserve our energy, whatever, but it's the overarching umbrella of self-care. I mean, I hate the fact that back in the day, only liberals had they seem to have like the corner on the market of self-care, but I'm bringing that shit to fucking conservatives. Like, you know what I mean? Because the reality is if we get overly emotional, we're doing the same thing they do. You know what I mean? When that fucking piece of shit went to, that Bernie supporter, went to, and shot up the baseball game. Shot up the baseball game, right? Was that because he was patient? Do you think that was because he was morally like okay in his mind? No, he was righteous. He was self-righteous. How did he believe himself to be self-righteous? Well, all the way back, he got emotional first. And he found the intellectual justifications for his emotionality, if that's the right word. So the reality is if we're going to want to keep our fucking head, we got to keep our head and make sure that, you know what? And because I had to do it earlier today. I was getting swept away in social media, especially with the editing videos and blah, blah, blah. And I had to just go, wait, hang on. Let me breathe a little bit. Okay. Sun is out. It's a beautiful day. Everything's fine. Oh, they're marching. Okay. All right. You know what? I'm okay. Let me get away from social media for an hour. I gave myself an hour. I took a break. And you know what? I felt better. Surprise. You know what I mean? So we got to make sure to take breaks and take care of ourselves.
Like I said, that's why I switched my format. I was doing videos. I was probably listening to stuff, reading stuff, maybe let's say for 4 or 5 hours just to make a 20-minute video.
Right.
And people don't understand that. It's like, you're reading this stuff, you're doing like a 20-minute video, and then people will be like, oh, cool. And you're like, motherfuckers, I spent 5 hours preparing this 20-minute fucking video, and all you can say is cool.
Dude, sometimes it takes me 2 hours to do a minute video, dude, where I'm like, because I got to edit it down and I got to find the right font and I got to, download a song and layer it in. And then I got to edit and I'm curating all this shit. I cannot wait until I'm rich and famous enough to pay somebody the fuck else to do this. Holy shit.
That's why I switched to live stream, because you know what? I don't give a shit about the editing. I don't give a shit about I want the realness. If I make a mistake, if I misspeak, fuck it. I'll come back on the next show and I'll be like, oh, you know what? I messed up. When I said this, I meant to say this. I don't care. I want to have the conversation. I want to be able to, get our voices out there, because this is the way, this is the way it's going to work, because somebody's going to see this video and maybe go, oh shit, they made sense.
Right.
Maybe there's a little clip of what all the stuff we've been talking about. Maybe like a 5-minute clip that we got into something, and maybe we'll clip it out there and people will go, oh shit, that makes sense.
Right.
And I think, that's the importance of this format. It's like, even though, let's say we're on YouTube, but I'm also live streaming this on Rumble and Twitter. Mm-hmm. But it'll go out there and maybe someone, maybe it'll hit someone, maybe it'll strike a nerve in someone to be like, hey, you know what? Maybe I am going a little too crazy. And it goes for, like you said, it goes for both sides. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm going a little too, because I'm sure people in my family think that, oh, it's Carlito, he's that crazy, he's the crazy, conservative. And I'm like, I don't even use that word. I never even say that. That's why all my stuff either says right-leaning Puerto Rican, or I say right-leaning libertarian, just because the fact that I'm not a conservative. There's stuff that I don't agree with the conservatives, but I know if I want to get shit done, they're the ones I got to caucus with. I have to, I have to bring those conservatives are more likely to come more to the left than those crazy ass woke liberals are going to come to the right.
Right. And whatever we prioritize is okay for us to prioritize. I mean, I know it gets a bad rap, but like the lesser of two evils in our current system, democracy, or somewhat democracy, in our current system, that is the best we can do. I'm never gonna, it's immature to believe that I should only spend time with people who I agree with over 99%. That's what the left is doing, right? Because they're emotional, and just like emotional people, that's immaturity, right? So it's immature to think that my even Trump or DeSantis or whatever, there's always going to be shit that I disagree with on a politician, right? And I can rag on them and I can point it out. Exactly. But, if I agree 51% with Trump and only 42% with Biden, guess who I'm gonna fucking vote for, right? That's what mature people fucking do. Okay. So all this like, and I'm not saying don't vote libertarian. I'm not saying don't vote independent. I'm gonna do whatever feels right to you. But what I'm saying is, when it comes down to it, I'm never going to 100% agree with any person, much less any politician. I have my big topics, 3 to 5, like big ones. And like I was saying, don't tell me what to do with my fucking mouth, with my wallet. I want less taxes. Don't tell me what to do with my body. Okay. Anybody who was against the fucking vaccine mandate, like, don't tell me what to do with my fucking kids. Right. And leave me the fuck alone. Right. And my wallet. As long as you're made, as best, whoever is going to get me the best of those 5 things, I'm in. You know what I mean? Just because, they did this or they did that, or what about, I saw a bunch of people who are like, well, Tulsi Gabbard. No, I'm not 100% on Tulsi. I don't give a sweet hot fuck about that bitch. If she's running against Trump or DeSantis, I'm still going to vote Trump or DeSantis. But what I'm saying is, to think like everybody's a fucking plant constantly and, well, she's also this and that. I'm like, okay, but what's the most important thing? Here's the most important thing, right? Free speech. Why? Because once I have free speech, then I can talk to somebody and they can change their mind, or I can change my mind about all these other topics. But when we don't have free speech, that's the fulcrum. That's the fulcrum between whether or not, like, if you don't have free speech, the rest of it, what's the fucking point, bro? Right?
Mhm.
So, and Tulsi, as far as I can tell, so far, is pretty fucking free speech. She even said DeSantis was pretty reasonable. Like, okay, if she's saying that shit, I understand with the WEF plan. I get it. I'm not saying that she's the fucking dream come true. Here's the lesson. Nobody's the fucking dream come true. Trump proved that in 2020. Nobody's going to be our motherfucking savior because the red pill is, what is it? I believe and trust in myself. Small fucking government. I trust myself. That's the fucking red pill. So nobody is my fucking savior. I'm my fucking savior. Me and God, me and my fucking people, my small community, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
No more savior shit, you know?
No, not at all. I was having a conversation with my son's nurse, and she goes, "I can't wait to get to 2024 when I could vote Biden out." And she voted for him because she can't stand Trump. Right? She goes, "I can't wait to vote him out in 2024." So I told her, there's another election in a couple of months. And she goes, "Yeah, but I only vote for president." I go, "We're here in Pennsylvania. We have this guy called Fetterman that if he gets elected, he's going to have a 6-year term. And guess what? In the 2 of those 6 years, Biden's going to be his president. So he's going to rubber stamp everything that Biden does." And she goes, "Oh shit, I didn't think about that." And it was like, so I got her to not to vote for, I got her to vote, and she's going to vote Oz. Wasn't my choice. Oz wasn't my choice. But like you said, I may agree with Oz 51% of the time, but I may only believe, agree with Fetterman 20% of the time. So it's an obvious choice for me,
Right. And spirit means a lot too, as well. And then I gotta go in a few minutes, but like spirit means a lot of it too. Meaning, just because on paper I might agree 25% with some of the shit that, I don't know who's a good example, like AOC, right? Or fucking, cocksucking Kamala, whatever. Because that bitch is a chicken head. Let's be fucking real. Okay? But anyway, I digress. Just because I agree 20% or even 50% doesn't mean that I can't trust my vibe sensors, right? My vibe sensors say, even if someone, I can tell, this is the epitome of the cringe is Beto O'Rourke, right? That's why I'm saying from the jump, nobody non-cringe feels Beto O'Rourke because we smell it. I think the audience, the people, the group people is smart enough to smell cringe. And that motherfucker is tap dancing because he's full of shit. Anybody who's full of shit, I don't care if I see on paper that I agree with you 50, because I trust my gut. And my gut says he's a cocksucking ass lizard fucking service. You know what I mean? He's not in it for us. No. Right? I don't think Abbott is in it for us. Right? Yeah. But as far as I can tell, whoever is going to get me there first, who understands that you are a fucking, I'm going to fucking say it again. The government is your employee. Okay? If you're listening to this right now, in America anyway, the government representative that comes to your head, any government representative is your employee. The FBI are your employees. You pay their paycheck. You pay Biden's paycheck. Don't you fucking forget it. Don't you fucking forget it, because these cocksuckers have fucking forgotten it. Even Politico tweeted the other day, "Oh, DeSantis may not like Biden's policies, but he really likes his wallet." Bitch, that's my wallet. That's my fucking wallet. Okay? It's not Biden's wallet. Biden ain't fucking shell out for shit in fucking probably 20 goddamn years. That actually more.
Oh, because he's been a senator. He's been a senator since I've been alive.
Since you've been a fucking alive. Okay, that nigga ain't paying for shit. Okay, so if you're my fucking employee, guess what, bitch? I take fucking accountability for what you do. Okay, and like anybody, I can fucking fire your ass. Don't you fucking forget it, you self-righteous cocksuckers. So, sorry, I just needed to put that spirit reminder into the world. Government is your employee. Don't you fucking forget it.
Yep. I think that's a good place to end it right there.
Thank you for letting me rant.
That was an epic rant. That's definitely one to clip and then to put there is like, that was great.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me, man.
Where
I
do you
always
want
have a
to?
great convo with
I
you.
know. I put your link tree on the description because I know your link tree has all your
All my
stuff. But
stuff.
where is it that you prefer for people to follow you for? At?
I
Do you have a
mean,
preference?
Instagram. Yeah, Instagram's
Okay.
probably my favorite. And YouTube is where I do get lots of people listening to the show or watching the show. My Conservatish show is also weekly available on iTunes and Spotify, and on other stuff too. But I barely ever check those. But I also make a shit ton of memes and a bunch of clips and a bunch of whatever. I'm just hilarious fun. And I'm a musician. I'm a singer-songwriter. And I have an album that came out a couple years ago that is, I fucking adore. It's next level shit. It's like Jack Black meets Jeff Buckley, if you've ever heard those guys. But also I have new music coming soon. I have a cover song coming in about in about a month. It'll be out.
Okay.
With an Austin singer. We're doing a cover song. It's a lot of fun.
Well, if you're gonna promote it or stuff like that, you want to come back on to promote it.
Sure.
More than willing to have you back on. It's always a fun time having you on because you're one of the people that can always. I know I'm gonna have a good time. I know I'm gonna laugh.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, no, I appreciate you letting me rant. And everybody, make sure you subscribe to the Right Rican, man.
And Conservatish.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good day, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show.